Good morning, Service Lines community. How y'all doing today? Brother Doug.
Morning, Zach. You sound a little peppy today. I'm not sure. We didn't really get to chat too much. Are you feeling kind of up today, ready to rock and roll?
I got good sleep last night for the
There it
first
is. I could tell, man. I think we're close enough friends now that I can tell when you got good sleep. And it sounds like it. So
yeah, it was my best sleep in like a month. So no, I mean, I wear the whoop.
that's it.
I'm constantly tracking that stuff. My resting heart rate's getting back down where it should be. I went through like a month where it was all out of whack, and heart rate variability, so like that spacing between your heart rate, that was in the wrong spot, which means you don't sleep well. So
it's interesting. Cause and effect can affect, cause of one thing can affect another. Not getting good sleep can make you not your best game at work, which can get into your mindset, which could make you feel like you're not who you are or you're behind. And then that mindset draws you down and makes you physically tired. It's amazing how all these components have to kind of work together. And when one is off, it kind of can affect the whole thing, which is ironically sort of the topic we're going to talk about in running our business, right?
Yes, sir. And there's important minerals, right? One of the things that I was missing was I wasn't taking my creatine on a consistent basis. And, creatine really helps the mind. It helps the body, muscle growth, all that stuff. So these important components, these important minerals, if you're missing those in the process, that can lead to a lot of other things. So we are talking about the EOS method today, and I know you absolutely love the EOS. You guys have implemented that action. I know enough to know when someone's doing EOS right or wrong. I've read through the book, I've read Traction, and I understand the concept, but I haven't been a part of a team that has truly embraced the full EOS method. So we'll kind of talk, we'll be looking at this from the way you guys are doing it and following the actual process and how you're implementing it to where there may be some missteps as you're trying to implement it. And why the heck will we implement EOS anyway? Well, we want to move from chaos to true expansion, right?
That's right.
You can expand without EOS, but I think it's a lot harder. I mean, in my experience, it's a lot harder. It's hard enough to expand the right way.
Well, one of the things I've learned, Zach, from you inspiring me to begin to read and study, right, is you start to listen and read about people who successfully have made it in life or business. And we all know it. If you start reading, you realize there's no real secret sauce out there, that everybody's kind of experienced the same things. The idea of a new idea is probably next to impossible, I would think. We've been on this earth a long, long time. And so when we think we came up with some sort of new concept, you find out that the Greeks or the Romans had it 2,000 years ago. And it's just something that was lost and forgotten and brought back and regurgitated, right? So, the reality is EOS is just one way of making sure you have all the ingredients. And I think what would be great for us to talk about is what happens when your business is lacking because of talent or ability, one of those ingredients. It's going to hold your business back. It's going to cause chaos and frustration. So what do you do about it? And and again, it all comes down to all these components working together. So if you don't have your finances in order, then to fix that problem, you're not going to be able to. And so it's a collective effort, and it's pretty cool. And there are many, many models out there, right? Ramsey's got one, Scaling Up. There's just a bunch of them out there. But EOS is the one I like, even though I can't remember always what EOS stands for.
It's on Entrepreneurial Operating System, my friend.
So that's a pretty underwhelming top title, I think. That's
well,
the issue. And acronyms. I can't stand acronyms. They make me freeze up. It's like watching Jeopardy. even if I had the answer, I won't be able to even watch it and say it out loud. I just feel very inferior. Acronyms shut me down right away. Like, what is IRL in social media land, in texting land? What is
In
that
real
like?
life, buddy.
Okay, who the hell would make that up? Like, that's like EOS, like in real life. Like, what's the context of that, Zach? People are making acronyms for no good reason, and I feel like I'm probably going to find some political lobbyists to take that shit down. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, my generation was the one that kind of came up with IRL. So sorry, buddy.
Surprising.
That was from,
The
AIM
millennial lazy days. Yeah, I hear you, man.
AIM
It
chatting
makes
and all that stuff. So here's the thing. Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS, right? Why is that actually exciting? Because it's a framework to expand with clarity, accountability, and structure. It is an operating system. So for nerds like me, right, we're putting an operating system on our business, and it's going to allow us that clarity, that accountability, that structure that we need to grow, to expand, to run the business on a day to day. And so it is a, how do you word it? I'm trying to think of it's easy, but it's hard, right? It's simple, but it's not easy. The structure of it's simple.
It is.
But there's work and mindset and things that have to go into it. And so it's not necessarily an easy thing. But let me tell you, trying to do it on your own and trying to fight the tide is a lot harder than using a method to do it. So we're going to talk about what EOS is and how that can help you expand, some of the success that Doug has found, and some of the pitfalls that I've seen when EOS isn't implemented to its fullest. So
That's it.
pray
All
us
right.
up, buddy.
Good morning, Lord. We thank you for another week on this earth. We thank you for the things that you are going to give us an opportunity to come alongside of you and serve and love you. Lord, every day you give us these moments in time to reflect on what our plan is for the day and where we're heading and what we're supposed to do. And Lord, I believe you put these moments in our place to choose you and to serve others and to love others and to be on your plan and not our own. So Lord, help us, guide us with making our plan your plan. Lord, as we've been chatting about already, original thought and new ideas, and we're looking and hunting for them in books and in webinars and teachings. Lord, your word is the original truth. And so much has been written in a different way, but speaking your truth. And there's so much to be written out there that is a variation, which is not true. And so, Lord, through your Spirit, we ask that you guide us, to know the truth. And thank you for the gift of the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So I'm going to start with the definition, because while you and I absolutely know what EOS is and understand that, not everyone may fully understand what EOS is. So EOS is a system of tools and processes that help businesses get everyone within the business aligned, accountable, and moving towards a clear vision. Gets everyone rowing the same direction, right? So we talked a little bit in the introduction about, like, you could be missing minerals or components, right? So what are the 6 components of EOS? They are vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction. Those are 6 things: vision, people, data, issues, process, traction. So that's a little bit on the background of what EOS is. So why does it matter for expansion? I have a feeling that this first one, Doug, you guys at Action Experience, and when you kind of implemented this started making the pivot for you, you hit growth ceilings when you're running a business without a clear process, a clear system. You begin to hit these growth ceilings, and then you have confusion, burnout. Your team is like, I'm going this way, and you're like, no, we're going this way, and then someone else is like, no, we're going that way. So if you don't have that clear process, you hit the ceiling and no one knows what's going on, and everyone's tired. No one wants to be there. You have high team turnover.
Yeah, a common response is this is out of control. This is crazy. I didn't sign up for this. I'm going to just scale it back. I'm gonna bring it back down to me and Jim. That's it, and that might be the right decision for you. But have you tried putting a system in place? And that's the key there, and you mentioned them all, and it's like, try imagining taking one or two of those out. The whole model, the house of cards, falls to pieces. And you have to have them all. They don't have to be perfect,
no,
but you have to have them all.
Yeah. I think one of the, if we're going to talk about the 6 key components, right, that if we don't have any of them that are missing, it's usually process, or we're not talking about the actual issues, right? Those two seem to be a big hiccup within most small businesses. They might have vision, they might have the people, they might have the data, but not know what the heck to do with it. If you don't talk about the issues and you don't have a process to correct those issues, then you don't have traction, right? And so everything starts to kind of fall apart.
I'll tell you something, Zach. Networking is important to me. Iron sharpens iron. Getting help and guidance and inspiration and helping others, it's what fuels me. And I'm letting you know, it's amazing. There's all types of companies out there that their weakness or their omission is not just process or people. Right. How about, imagine not having a vision?
Yeah.
Imagine you coming into some money that makes it very easy to expand. You dump money into marketing and advertising. You buy a couple vans. You bring a couple techs on. You say, hey, get out there and go take care of the customers. And that's it.
Yep.
Now, what do they think that you think as the owner? What do they think that you think is important? Well, if you speak a lot about money because you're being reactive, like, hey, you didn't charge enough on that job. Hey, those parts that are in the back of your van you stepped on, they cost us money. Like, if you are just reacting and saying what you're supposed to say, and that's all they're hearing is a lot of that, they get to draw their own conclusions of who you are as a business owner. But can you imagine if you got your vision on paper and then you began to talk about it and include your team on it and say, what do you think I mean by making the customer's day better? And from there, depth can happen. And now they know where you stand. And guess what? If they don't like what you stand for, they'll move on.
Yep.
And if they love what you stand for, they'll put up with stuff. They'll put up with the challenges of growth and the mistakes that might happen because they know where you're heading. So that's just one example. And you can just grab any one of these and everything falls apart. But I do want to say some sort of good news here. Those things don't have to be perfect.
No. You're
always going to work towards making them better. So whatever your best version of data is, tracking your numbers, you will probably change that. You'll probably modify that. And it's okay to change stuff. So any one of those, just get something in place. Currently, we have level 10 meetings, which are meetings with each department that are structured in a very specific way, from the leadership all the way down to the departments. Are all my department meetings, I have a sales, a service, and a support meeting, are they all running great level 10 meetings? No, because they have different people running them,
Yep.
and they're learning as we go along. But it's in place, and we're trying to improve in those ways. So just get them down and get them in motion, and then you work and tweak each one of them throughout the year.
Yeah, so I mean the point of EOS within a business heading towards expansion, and I'll get to a better definition of expansion here in just a second, but it allows leaders to create clarity, which creates consistent growth, which creates stronger teams, which
Mhm.
creates better decision making. And it's cyclical. You can put any of those in any spot, right? But it starts with the leader having clarity, having that vision, and casting that to the team. And then all these other things begin to kind of fall in
That's
place behind that. And that's kind of where you started.
mhm.
Um, your little tangent with. It wasn't really a tangent. It was, that this is what happens when you begin to implement it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And here's the other thing about expansion. So many people think that expansion is like, oh, I'm going to have 50 trucks and I'm going to have this and I'm going to be in 10 towns or 10 states. What? No, expansion is not just bigger. Expansion is healthier.
Mhm.
Imagine doing things with a little bit less effort, a little
Mhm.
bit less struggle, right? You're implementing some type of method, and for this point, we're talking about EOS. You begin to have a healthier business that runs a little bit smoother each day. It's not perfect, but it
Right.
runs a little bit smoother each day.
I remember Jay's the owner of Action. We would sometimes just talk because we have some friends that have 40 and 50 techs.
Mm.
And we would just go, you imagine 50 vans, vehicle maintenance, accidents, in truck stock. Like we would just think about the size and magnitude of different parts of, you know, running a business with that much volume and size. And we would just go, is it worth it? Do we even want to go down that road? Is it? And that was us speaking. This is pre-EOS. This was just us waking up and seeing something and fixing it, making something, building something, a process. It works good, but everything was hodgepodge and just for young people, just kind of like segments. It was just us kind of throwing darts in the dark. And so once clarity's there, it's exciting to think about
Yeah.
trying to grow your business because you're not going to break it without you knowing that it's starting to break because of the system of traction and data. It won't EOS won't allow you to find yourself out of nowhere underwater.
Yep.
You will be seeing your trends as you go, and believe it or not, that brings great encouragement. You take a half step back, but you've taken 7 steps forward. That half step, I don't know about you, Zach, but if you've ever had to, take 2 steps forward and 1 step back and be completely discouraged and rethink everything that you wanted to do, and you're like, I don't even know, screw it, I'm done. No, you have to be looking from the beginning. 7 steps later, we're now at 6. That's progress. That's excitement. Let's get back on the horse. Let's figure out what's wrong. That's one of the issues. That's one of the ingredients. A regular scheduled meeting to talk about issues, an issue, a challenge, an idea. Taking that and then sitting with your team, coming up with a solution, which is called a to-do, and you put something in place. And now that becomes part of your process or part of your data. And now you just keep on moving down the road. It's pretty exciting.
So there's some tools that are a part of EOS, and I'm going to let you kind of expand on each of the tools. I'm going to bring them all up, and then I'll refresh as we go. But so you have the Vision Traction Organizer,
Mhm.
right? This is your clear roadmap for growth.
Yeah.
You have the People Analyzer. You've heard Doug and I say this: the right people in the right seats.
Mhm.
You have a scorecard, right? This is for gaining that data as you're trying to grow. And then you have level 10 meetings, which is keeping your leadership aligned. So start at the beginning, the vision traction organizer, how has that kind of helped action go from, well, maybe we'll do this, or maybe we'll do this, or maybe we got to fix this today and we got to fix it. How has having that vision traction organizer kind of helped you?
For people that are goal setters, then this is going to be an easy component for you. You just have to think a little farther along than you might be thinking. So coming up with a 10-year plan. But how do you do that? Well, you first have to understand who you are as a company. What are you great at? What are you known for that no one else is known for? And then how do you take those strengths and your weaknesses, identify those through a SWOT analysis, that's also under vision, and really truly understanding yourself as a business and where it's going. And then when that's all written down, you must take time to share it with your team. You share it once, it's not going to penetrate. You share it on a regular basis, then it starts to take hold, and everyone knows who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how are we going to get there is what the vision does for us.
Love it. The people analyzer. How have
Right
you?
People, right people, right seat. This is something we've all probably been, if you've ever promoted someone, you've taken someone who's really good at what they do and they're loyal and they've been with you a long time, and you promote them into a position that they might not even be good at, or that they might not even want to do. And so you have to find the right people, the right seat. You have to find the person that finds great joy in the role that you're asking them to do, because you need joy to get through the stressful and challenging times. And you can't do it all by yourself. You need to build a team, whether that's 3 people or 5 people or 12 people. You need to have other context and other people carrying the weight.
Yeah. So at the roofing company, they have been working to implement EOS within the business. And one of the things at the beginning of the year, I've done sales. I'm good at sales. I can sell ice to Eskimo, right? But I don't necessarily enjoy it, right? I understand it. I can do it well. I can teach it, but I don't like doing it day to day. And that was the position that I was in. So the last 6 months, I've been in kind of a hybrid role. I've been doing the repairs. I've been doing the repair attempts. I've been working with the team to kind of document some of the issues on insurance claims, or, little piddly repairs for homeowners. I like that.
That's
And
great.
And so this kind of hybrid role, now the owner of the roofing company is like, oh, well, maybe we need to figure out a way to keep you doing this, because he's starting to see results from me being in the right seat, doing the right job. And it's producing results for the rest of the team. Right. So you may have a technician that's not meant to be a technician. They might be better parts manager. They might be a better office manager. You have to be conscious of who's on your team and what they're doing. And some of that happens from having conversations. You have these one-to-one meetings, right? Which is the next part, the scorecard, right? My scorecard was consistently bad, rating myself because I didn't have joy in what I was doing, which meant that I needed to kind of move seats. And that's finally kind of hit home. And so how are you guys utilizing that scorecard for your team? How's that going for you guys?
Well, one of the successful and necessary parts of EOS is that somebody owns a particular metric or KPI or score someone owns that. So, for you, Zach, if you were in charge of callbacks and repairs on roofs, and you were tracking that, you would need to know a number that you're looking for. If for some reason your initial installations were not up to snuff and you saw a callback rate, and I know you're talking about repairs and COD, but I'm just saying as hypothetical.
Yeah.
You're tracking that. You're reporting on a regular basis because maybe your team and your owner decided this is an important number to track. So it cost us this much time, this much money, and this much in material, and it was under 7%. That's great, And sometimes you come up with, you start collecting data for the first time. It's kind of fun, but it's overwhelming. Like we have some new data, and I'm like, I have no context for it. Right. I don't know what it means. So now I have to put my patience on. I have to kind of put this leotard of patience on because I'm anxious. Like I want to know what this number means. Yeah. But if I can't go backwards and do research, then I have to sit with that number and watch it. And then your eyes become clearer and you have clarity and you start to track something and you get to see what the new trend is. It's very revealing and exciting. So one of the things you have to remember is you don't want to track everything under the sun, in your scorecard. I think the analogy that they use on EOS is if you were on an island with no power or anything, but they gave you a piece of paper and it had, between 5 and 12 metrics, 12 KPIs, you could tell how successful your business is doing this past week. Yeah. If you've got those numbers, because too many numbers will just get you drowning and swimming in them. So what are the ones that your basic ones that you need? And somebody owns that. Yep. If you own them all and you've got a team of 5 people with you and you're ultimately responsible and you're not hitting, it's all your fault. Right. So if you can delegate that out, that's important. Yep. So that's what you said about the same page meetings and the one-to-ones where you're meeting with them and asking them how they're feeling, how are they doing, how do you think you're doing? Mm-hmm. And when they say this or that, you pull the scorecard in and you're like, listen, you've been green and hitting your goals, 80% of the time. I agree with you completely. This is awesome. And if you're missing, now it's like, what are you going to do now? What are you going to try next to get that number fixed? And maybe at some point somebody goes, I can't fix it. All right, well, that's all right. Let's do this together. You know what? I don't even like feeling this pressure of being responsible for a number. Hey, it's okay. I understand. We're implementing this. If you don't like that, it's all right. There's a place here for you. But you got to have someone that owns the seat. And that was my biggest fault taking on the initial EOS implementation was I would grab stuff because I felt like I didn't want to overwhelm the team. That means I was in charge of 85% of everything. And it wasn't working for me.
Well, and that's the thing. So you talked about 5 to 12 things, right? If you're a team of 4, right, you don't figure out 12 metrics, figure out 5 metrics.
That's right.
Maybe you own 3 of the 5 metrics and some other members of your team own the other 2 metrics, sure. Right?
Sure.
It doesn't have to be overly complicated, right?
Right.
And then we go into the level 10 meetings, which is keeping the leadership aligned, keeping the people that are responsible for those scorecards aligned. So in the roofing business, we have the owner who owns certain things, the ops manager owns certain things, and the production manager owns certain things. And they get together each week and they go through, and go over the scorecards and the things that are going well and not going well. And so even if you're a small team, you can have these simple meetings and quickly go through what's going well, what's not going well, because you have the data, the scorecards in front of you. So,
and those numbers, Zach, are derived from your vision. So let's just kind of go back through that. What is your goal for this year? What is your goal 3 years from now? What is your goal for 10 years? all these things that you're tracking are to try to help you get to your 1 year, 3 year, 10 year goal. And you need people to do that. And so, that's where you're pulling that data from. And guess what? If you're trying to get, from 3 texts to 50 texts, it's not going to be easy.
Yep.
But I don't believe that you'll be shocked that you broke your business, because with tracking your data and having people assigned to that data that own it, and where you're trying to head, you can always alter your vision.
Yep.
You can always reset and go, listen, maybe we'll scale this back, or maybe we'll go in a different direction. Sometimes we have to. The appliance service world, do we think it's going to maintain the level that it is now? It's possible, and it's possible that it won't. And so we have to be ready to pivot.
Yep.
And when you're thinking about a 10-year plan, as you begin to lean towards the possibility that the volume and opportunity for appliance service isn't there, your 10-year plan means, what else can we do with those people that have fallen in love with our company and our values and our vision? What else can we do for them? So expect your vision to change. But what you want to be able to feel comfortable with in the data is that you'll know pretty quickly, because you're checking it every single week. You'll know if you're breaking. And then when you look at your monthly and your quarterly, you'll look back and say, ooh, I'm seeing a trend that's not good. And then we get to our level 10 meetings every week. Not a meeting to have a meeting, but a meeting with a purpose.
Right.
Getting connected with the team to make sure everybody is on board and happy. And sometimes they're not, but that's a great moment to talk about. Then you're going to go into your scorecard, your data, and you're going to check in on that. And guess what? If you're trending that you're not hitting that number, you just make it an issue. You go, hey, let's talk about that. And then you move that to the end of the meeting, the most important part of the meeting, after your scorecard, after your headlines announcing the things that are happening, the new people that are on board. Talk about that, right? As you start to grow, if your communication breaks down and you're not communicating everything to everybody, so you have your headlines. And then before you get to your issues, guess what? You have to-dos. You have tasks that at the end of every meeting, you're setting these tasks up. If you're not getting them done, you're going nowhere.
Yep.
So you get over your to-dos. It's quick. Did you contact the marketing people? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you make that process? No, I did. Yes, I did. And then you move to the best part of the meeting, which is talking about what isn't working, what ideas you might have for the business that's going to help us get to our 10-year goal, and collectively as a team work it out.
And so as we're wrapping up, I want to go through some challenges and misconceptions, and then I want to give you guys who have hung with us this long some takeaways, some homework for the week ahead. And Doug and I will kind of go through what each of these are, and we want to challenge you to pick one of them to do for the week coming ahead. So challenges and misconceptions, right? EOS is only for big companies.
No.
Not true. Not true at all. You can implement it at any size. It's just a structure for moving your business to become healthier, to add team members if you want, or just to become more healthy as a company, right? EOS is for any size company. EOS slows things down.
Imagine looking at an accountability chart with the important roles of the business, and your name or your face is in all of them.
Yep.
That is a sobering thought to say, how much longer can I do this?
Yep.
And then you look at that list of important leadership positions and say, which ones here am I not good at? Yep. Which ones do I completely loathe and hate? Well, now you know who you should hire. Now you know who you should bring up to that spot. It's somebody who's good at that.
It helps solidify the vision.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. It brings that clarity. EOS slows things down.
Yep.
No, not true. It actually brings order to the chaos, or prevents chaos, right? So you guys didn't have EOS. Now you do have EOS. And I'm sure you experienced it. It didn't slow you down. It actually got the train back on the
Sure,
tracks and
sure.
moving the right
You know, I
direction.
experienced EOS and to-dos, checking in and being held accountable, because that's the traction part of the components is being held accountable and knowing what your job is. I'm in a mastermind group with the Seeleys, Joe and Ginny, Gasper, EJ, if I forget Jeremy, right? And here's the deal: every single week we come with to-dos that we committed to the week before, things that are going to help our business. And I saw EOS in action, and Ginny wouldn't say it was EOS. It was something else. Remember, it's always borrowed ideas with different names, with little copyright, trademark marks on it.
Yeah.
You know, Ginny would, I would come 3 weeks, 4 weeks into it, and there's this to-do item, this task that I haven't gotten done. And it's like, the first time it's like, yeah, I didn't get to it. The next week it's like, yeah, I didn't get to it. The third week you're gonna feel a little guilty. You're gonna feel a little shame. You're gonna beat yourself up. Yeah, I'm just really struggling here. And then the fourth week, Jenny's like, hey, let's talk about that for a second. What if we take that task? What's holding you up? Let's break that task down into a smaller task.
Yep.
And you're like, all right, I don't know. Let's think it through. And then we talk it through. And she's like, so the next thing you need to do is you need to contact the vendor and ask for this information, right? Yeah. Then let's make that your to-do for next week. So now all of a sudden this hurdle turned into a small task. Ginny was able to show me how you can get unstuck by making your to-dos and your tasks nice and short and sweet. And it's those little tiny steps that all of a sudden you look back and you're like, look how far we have come from where we are now. And that's what EOS and to-dos and traction does, is it holds you accountable and keeps you on track.
So another way to say that is without EOS, things are actually a lot slower or not getting done at all.
Oh man, my messy desk, without EOS, there'd be projects and tasks just piling up on scrap paper because I'm overwhelmed and I'm not getting it done. And then I feel like I'm drowning. Can I get an amen there, where you just have like 3 things and 5 things and 10 things. And then you go, you know what? I'm going to commit the whole weekend to just cleaning up this crap. And then you're reading through stuff that's a month old and you hate the fact that you've done this again and again and again. EOS and traction, the more you plug into it, the more accountability and rhythm that comes out of it.
Yeah. And EOS is just another management fad. No.
It's the fad of this generation. Someone else is going to rewrite the whole damn thing and add like colorful rainbows and call it, POS.
The name has changed, but the principles of it are battle tested and been around for generations. The thought process, the everything in this system, it's got a new branding to it, but this system has been around for generations because it works. It just works.
Gino Wickman, the author who created this thing, he gives acknowledgement to right people, right seat, IDS, all this. Well, that's his, but different aspects of the system come from different business leaders that are often friends. Yep. And there's a lot of collaboration there for sure.
Yep. So actionable takeaways for the week, right? I have 4 listed, but if you think of something else you want to challenge them with, Doug, let me know, and maybe you can explain these as we go. So I'm going to list all 4 and then we'll figure out from here. So start small, hold a level 10 meeting with your leadership, define your VTO, your vision traction, identify your rocks, your 90-day priorities. And expansion requires discipline, not just ambition. So implement something this week. So there's 4 things there. Start small, hold a level 10 meeting, define your VTO, identify your rocks, and expansion requires discipline, not ambition. So put something in place. So pick one of those 4 this week. And if you're not sure what the heck we just challenged you to, reach out to one of us and we'll help kind of guide you on what that looks like. But think about this, right? If you're in the audience and you're like, I don't have vision for my company, I'm just trying to make it day to day. Well, then your challenge this week is to begin to define your VTO, right? If you have a vision, but you're like, I don't know how to get there. Well, let's identify our rocks this week. Let's figure out those 90 days. Let's figure out break that big task down into those tiny tasks that Doug was talking about and begin to consistently take some action steps towards it. Do you have a leadership team? Do you have an office manager? Do you have a parts person? Do you have whatever? Hold a level 10 meeting this week. And there's examples online of how to hold a level 10 meeting and follow that template with your team and then begin to practice that each week following, right? And then expansion requires discipline, not just ambition. If you don't know any of this, maybe go read the book. Maybe go take a look at EOS and kind of begin to understand these concepts more.
You see where you're bringing this to, Zach? Because you and I were mindset people, and
100%.
and so your mind's got to be 100% behind something. Otherwise, your body and your thoughts and your actions will not be. They just aren't going to be, at an efficient level. You're going to feel discouraged. Full transparency, by the way. I'm slow to get things. I really am, Zach. I remember the P&L story, right? Profit loss, running Action Appliance and not really understanding it. And then taking the word of the accountant. And then when I'm talking to the owner, I'm trying to remember what he said and how he said it so that I can let the owner know. And the owner is saying, well, no, I don't agree with that, but I didn't understand what the guy said. So I bought the book, right? The Profit and Loss for Dummies. And I just tried to read that. And so I'm a slow dude and it takes me time to get it. I remember Ginny at a ASTI teaching SMART goals. And she talked about the principle. You got it right away, Zach, right? You weren't there, but you got it. You heard her and you're like, I've heard of it. I already knew about it. Oh, that's
I had only been trying to get you to implement SMART goals for 2 years.
But you know what? You know what happened? But is Ginny explained it and it sounded incredible. And then she goes, let me give you guys an example. And it was something so simple, like, I don't know, brushing your teeth or something. She took it so simple. And then finally the light bulb flickered and it went on. And it was a game changer. So I'm a little slow. And so cut yourself some slack. Listen to the book, read the book, and treat the book Traction. This is the book we've been talking about, Traction, which is EOS. Treat it like it's a Bible. So if you're a Christian, know that you don't necessarily have to read it from beginning to end. Pick a component, people, vision, data. Pick it, read it. Highlight what stands out to you and just take one of those components and try to understand it well. It was dim, Rob. So pick it and take notes. And then you really got to know your vision, by the way. Don't get all rah-rahed up if you're not committed to doing something with your business.
Well, and that's why I said pick one of these 4. I don't care which of the 4.
You should
take an honest assessment of yourself.
Get your mindset done.
Yeah.
Read and listen to Traction. Read it and study the different components. And if you didn't get component 3, go back to it or go through it. Go through the whole thing and then come back to it again.
So this is a great point right here. And this is exactly what this entire episode has kind of been about, right? There are certain things that you may not agree with, but if the core of EOS is implemented, right, and you follow Dave Ramsey for financial, don't use credit. That's
We,
fine.
I don't
There's
know where,
nothing wrong with that.
I'm not sure where in traction it says that your EOS does not tell you exactly how to build your business. It doesn't say go and get your cash flow at this amount and then go ahead and set your 5-year goal. And if you have to borrow
Yep.
money, it doesn't. It's only about having the right people, the vision, the process, and tracking your shit. That's
He
all EOS is.
he shares stories in there, and he does talk about different principles within business, but that doesn't mean that has to be the pattern. The
Oh
the
yeah,
thing the thing to understand from these books is the core of it, which is what we talked about at the beginning, right? What is the point of
yeah,
EOS? It's vision, it's people, it's data, it's issues, it's process, which
yep,
creates traction.
yep.
So, again, just pick one of these 4 that we talked about. Hold a level 10 meeting, define your VTO, identify your rocks, or expansion requires discipline, not ambition. Go read the book, go listen to the book, go figure out and get your mindset right to begin
Mhm.
to take some steps. Pick one of those 4 things this week and implement it. And if you're not sure, reach out to Doug and I. We're both on Facebook. You can't
And
miss
you
us.
know something, Zach? There's an option here. If you are serious about your business and where you want to take it, and you can identify with the principles of traction, you can hire an implementer.
You can.
I know someone in your neck of the woods that's amazing that Shayna and Jason know. She's incredible. And I know someone in New York, and they are great implementers. These people stay connected with me, even though we as a company have chosen at this time not to pay a professional implementer to come in. We're thinking about it, and we might still do it. And we would have someone come in and go through the whole process with us
Mhm.
and teach everyone on the leadership team, because what I'm trying to do is convey traction with my limited experience and knowledge. So there's a flow to it. So we have chosen the slower path, but you for very reasonable amount of money, you can have an implementer come in and they become like a part-time
Well,
business coach
I don't
for you.
know that it's necessarily slower because the roofing company paid an implementer, and I feel like they're going slower than you are. So
Oh,
it
interesting.
it
Interesting.
it comes back to what you and I always talk about. It's the mindset. You have to have your mindset correct before you begin to implement this. So if that's where you are today,
How about this, Zach? My imagination is if there's a stalemate or there's a challenge, you have someone on the outside
yeah,
who is there to be your consultant
yep,
to help be the neutral party in trying to work through stuff. And also, yeah, maybe your implementer isn't great. Maybe it's your visionary not allowing the implementer to implement, right?
there you go.
It is different for everybody. But like I said, yeah, reach out, man. I would love to inspire or coach you through a couple steps or get you connected with two amazing implementers.
Yeah, it was pretty funny when they decided at the beginning of the year that they were going to implement EOS. The 3 of them, the ops, the owner, and the production manager, all came in. They're like, "You ever read this book?" Like, yeah, talk about it all the time. My co-host and I, we talk about EOS, we talk about traction, we
Mhm.
talk, we
Yeah.
I know exactly what it is. I understand the core concepts, and they're like, "What?" Yeah, it's a great system for any size company to implement. So that's EOS and how to expand. And if you want to hear more about stuff like this, servicealliancegroup.com. We hold the monthly masterminds. We are going to be talking about expanding your service area. And I said TK last week and the week before. It's Mike. It's Mike doing this one. We switched things up and it's Mike. I don't know where my brain was. Mike is going to be talking about expanding your service area the right way, how to implement a system to begin to expand. We have topics like that every month with other owners across the country with other experiences, right? We all get together on a Saturday and we have a conversation, and we help to level up each other's business. So become an all access member, servicealliancegroup.com. And coming up really quick here, it's in just a couple weeks. Go to appliancerepairconference.com. Join Service Alliance Group at PSA. We're teaching 10 classes. There's a whole bunch of other people there teaching. You can bring your techs because there's going to be a ton of manufacturers there teaching how to service their appliances. There's going to be other business tracks as well, but besides what Service Alliance Group is teaching. And we got an amazing keynote speaker, Tom Howard, awesome guy, taken a bunch of businesses, expanded them the right way, implemented some systems, and kind of grown them from either bankrupt to multi-million-dollar companies. It's pretty amazing. He's a neat guy. I've known him quite a few years now, probably 7 years now. And he's just such a cool guy. So I can't wait to hear his keynote at PSA. So.
Oh, and James, I just get really passionate about business in EOS. So when you brought up the credit thing, if it sounded like I was jumping down your throat, I apologize.
He caught it, right? He got caught up in the anecdotes in the book.
Which is the stuff
so easy to do.
I know.
It's the frilly stuff in the book, and that's why I made the encouragement. Listen to the core principles of these books. Don't get caught in the muddy water of the stories that he tells. Those are just stories that he's telling. The core of the principles is what's important. That's the thing that's been around for generations. So,
and you got to put your time in trying to understand something. Our CRM, I'm using acronyms now. Son of a bitch. The software that we used to run our business, it was difficult and clunky. And we just, after a while, decided to just run it our own way. And so we're not getting the full effect, or we weren't getting the full effect of our operating system. Same thing with BNI, business networking, international, right? To be BNI.
Acronyms are everywhere.
To do BNI properly, you got to follow their system. But if you don't follow their system, you can say, well, BNI is terrible. It's a terrible thing to do. You have to first do that. And when you've got it down really, really well, I think you can adjust and tweak anything for your own business. But be leery about tweaking anything until you feel like you completely understand it. And then I'll read your book after you've tweaked it and made it better, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. You got to do step 1 first before you do step 10. So
that's right.
Wherever you are this week, we threw out that challenge. Go back, watch this video again, understand what EOS is on a brief overview, and then take the challenge this next week. Do one of those things for your business, for yourself, and see what happens, man. I'm just excited for all you guys. And I hope to see next week some of you guys back in the comments telling us what you implemented this past week, which action step you took. So yeah, well, this is not a surprise at all. Samsung with a designated portal just for hacking. No, that would never happen. Oh, Samsung. Anyway. Well, we'll see you guys next time on the Morning Grind. We appreciate you taking the time to be with us. Go out, take care of your customers, love them, and serve them well. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to the Morning Grind podcast by Service Alliance Group. Subscribe to our channel and make sure you visit our website at servicealliancegroup.com for appliance repair business resources.